Dunyodagi birinchi avtoulov 1895-yilda muhandis janob Karl Benz tomonidan, ya'ni Germaniyada mana shu avtomobillar, birinchi avtomobil, ya'ni benzin yoqilg'isida yuradigan avtomobil dunyoga keldi. Assalomu alaykum. Uzbek Entertainmentda sizlar bilan men yana Kamina Farruh Sultanov. Do'stlar, bugungi kontentimizda videosimizni boshlashdan avval men hamma YouTube muxlislarimizga minnatdorchiligimni aytib qolaman, chunki biz mana shu kanalni o'tgan yil ochgan edik. Yosh kanal, endi 1 yil bo'ldi. 1 yil bo'lishiga qaramasdan bizda ozgina bo'lsa-da o'zimizni auditoriyamizga, o'zimizni muxlislarimizga ega bo'ldik. Ya'ni bugungi kelib bizning kanalimizda 169 ta haqiqiy sadoqatli, haqiqiy ashaddiy YouTube muxlislarimizga ega bo'ldik. Mana shu YouTube muxlislarimizga biz videoni boshlashdan oldin men o'zimni minnatdorchiligimni bildirib qolmoqchiman. Hammanglarga rahmat. Mana shularni sizlarning qo'llab-quvvatlashlaringiz bizga juda ham katta motivatsiya beradi. Kontentlarimizni sifatini oshirishda, yaxshi videolar qilishda va muntazam ravishda sizlarga videolarni taqdim qilib borishga harakat qilamiz. Albatta, uzr so'rab qolaman va o'zimizni asosiy ishdan bo'shab mana shu videolarni tayyorlashga vaqt ajrata olmayapmiz. Yaxshi ko'p kontentlar tayyorlay olmayapmiz, lekin baribir biz bilamizki bu mashaqqatli yo'l. Ya'ni mana shu YouTube'da bir kontent tayyorlab va uni sizlarga taqdim qilishlik, bu sifatli kontentlarni taqdim qilishlik bu juda ham og'ir ekanligini, buning uchun ko'p mehnat qilishimiz kerak ekanligini juda ham yaxshi bilamiz. Albatta biz bundan qo'rqmaymiz. Bizga ozgina sizni o'sha e'tiboringiz, ozgina sizni o'sha fikrlaringiz, takliflaringiz, tanqidlaringiz biz uchun juda ham katta, muhim ahamiyatga ega va mana shu bizga kuch-quvvat, motivatsiya beradi. Do'stlar, shunday qilib, bugungi kontentimiz Chicago shahridagi joylashgan Claremont Car Museum degan joyda keldik. Mana shu yerda klassik mashinalardan tortib 1920-yildan to bugungi 2013-2015-yilga qadar bo'lgan avtomobil brendlarini muzeyiga keldik. Mana shu yerda sizlarga yaxshi, chiroyli kontent qilishga, ya'ni mana shu mashinalarni, avtoulovlarni sizlarga ko'rsatishga harakat qilamiz. Bizni kanalimizda ko'rayotgan bo'lsangiz, birinchi marta ko'rayotgan bo'lsangiz, kanalga a'zo bo'ling, videolarimiz yoqsa like va nima deydi, bu hech qanaqa sizdan pul yoki bir narsa talab qilmaydi. Ozgina e'tibor, mana shu siz bizni videomizni ko'rib maza qilib, siz o'zingizga qandaydir bir foydali ma'lumot olgan bo'lsangiz va mana shu ma'lumotlar sizga yoqqan bo'lsa, videomiz, kontentimiz yoqsa, podpisatsiya qilib qo'yganingiz biz uchun o'sha siz tomonidan aytilgan bir rahmat ma'nosida bo'ladi. Shuning uchun do'stlar, hamisha ixtirodan qolmang, hamisha yangilikdan, innovatsiyadan qolmang, o'qing, izlaning, harakat qiling, biznes qiling, o'z niyatlaringizga yeting. Bo'lmasam videoni boshlaylik. How you doing, sir? Go ahead.
My name is Robert Olson. I'm the director at Claremont Collections Car Museum in Chicago, Illinois. Claremont Collections has about 300 cars on display. The vehicles range anywhere from 1906 all the way to a 2008 Tesla. So at Claremont Collections, the cars are the stars, but when you look around the museum, there is so much more here to see. The Claremont Collections is actually a not-for-profit museum. It was started by our founder, Mr. Larry Claremont, a 94-year-old World War II veteran. We're sad to say Mr. Claremont passed away about a month ago.
Oh, sorry about that, sir.
But he created an endowment so that we could continue to share the museum.
Okay.
I mentioned all the cars that are in fact in the museum and all of the automotive paraphernalia and memorabilia that's up on the walls. Up on this wall here, these are the decades posters, and you can see a car from 1900 and all of the things that was happening in the world around it. And as you climb through the decades, 1910, 1920, 1930, you can see in the poster on the wall all of the things that have changed. So some of the cars at Claremont Collections are special in and of themselves. They're one-of-a-kind cars.
Okay.
Others are really standouts because of the engineering or the design or the preservation of that particular vehicle. And even something like this, we're standing in front of a 1947 Czechoslovakian-built Tatra.
Wow. Beautiful.
And if you look at the front end, at least from my perspective, it does look like a Volkswagen, right?
Yeah,
it has
it
that
is.
VW, the bug look about it. During World War II, it's my understanding that the Germans occupied Czechoslovakia, but allowed for the vehicle productions to continue. So you'll see a lot of historic pictures of German officers actually driving in a Czechoslovakian Tatra. Now, as far as the quality of the build or the engineering, it's been said that the Tatra had killed more killed more German soldiers than the Czechoslovakian army. So that's an automotive joke, of course. But the vehicle itself is a neat-looking vehicle, and it was forward-thinking as well.
All right, gotcha, sir, gotcha. Is here your favorite cars like you would like to show me, or?
Yeah, you know, I can walk you down and show you something called the Golden Sahara 2.
Okay, gotcha.
And the Golden Sahara 2 was actually a 1953 Lincoln Capri, and it was the personal car of the famed custom car creator George Barris. And George Barris incidentally built the Batmobile, the Monstermobile, and a whole host of other Hollywood vehicles. The Golden Sahara 2 was his vehicle. He was in a car accident, and he decided to customize and create this particular car. So if you walk down here,
let's go, sir.
We'll take a look. So as we approach the car, you can see that the car has a beautiful pearl exterior paint color, but it's also trimmed out in gold. So it's actually trimmed out in 14 karat gold.
Wow, beautiful.
You can see the curves, the lines. It looks like no other car. And again, this was a custom car created from a 1953 Lincoln Capri. There are some special things on this car. If you take a look at the tires actually light up. So these were prototype tires designed by Goodyear in the late 50s and the early 60s. They were called neothane glass slipper tires. And when we restored the car, Goodyear agreed to make them again. So the cars, or the tires themselves, they can change colors. So as you can see, I'm causing for the tires now to change colors.
Wow. With the remote control in your hands, huh?
For sure.
Whoa. It's beautiful.
And again, think of a car that if you hit the brakes, the tires turn red. Maybe if you accelerated, the tires would turn green. So again, it's a visual aid. It could be touted as a safety feature.
Okay.
The vehicle also had the gold ordained roll bar. So again, for a safety feature, it had a steering wheel that detached. You can drive this car by the center unitrol lever. You would accelerate, brake, left, right, all from the center lever here. So this steering wheel actually can come completely off the vehicle. Again, it had a TV set in there. Back in the late 50s, early 60s, people didn't even have a TV set in their home, let alone in their vehicle. Back here, this shows that they had a remote control that actually started the vehicle. So this was from a Zenith Space Command television set. You'd hit a remote control and the vehicle would start.
Wow.
Then I like to show everyone we have a hidden button. So even something as simple as a pop-it door.
Wow. Could you show them one more time?
Sure. So again, hidden amongst all the golden cubes.
Wow.
Pop-it door. So this is the Golden Sahara 2. If you Google it online, you can see great videos of the car driving and the lit tires.
Wow. This is beautiful. This is fascinating.
Ahead of its time. For a car in the late 50s, it was so futuristic. Automatic starter, pop-it doors. It actually had a system on there that they were talking about automated braking. So even like today's Tesla's cars, that thought and that vision had to come from somewhere.
Wow, beautiful, sir. Beautiful. Thank you, sir, for dedicating for us your time. And what would you prefer? What would you suggest for young generation learn the history about America? And what is your operation hours when you come to the people? And
Sure.
Could you give us some kind of info?
Sure, I'll say this. I'll say that cars in general are the vehicles of history. So
Okay.
as you follow the engineering of cars, the creation of cars from the 1900s all the way to present day, those cars tell the story of what's happening around the world. So as technology improves, the cars improve. And we integrate our lives into the cars that we drive. Teslas, Bluetooth technology, making telephone calls. Our cars are an extension now of our homes. They're not just a vehicle of transport. And Claremont Collections, www.claremont.com. We're in Chicago, Illinois. We're open to the public Thursday through Sunday, 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. And the public is welcome.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
As an artist, this museum choice of subject matter is it's like being a kid in a candy store. There's just so many beautiful things here. So I'm just going to cover some of the cars that I've done paintings of so far.
Oh, okay, cool.
This Buick here is, if ever there was something that epitomized the 1940s, and this was the envelope body, which was the age of streamlining, and you really have to connect it with the music of the time too. This is when the swing era was in full force. Glenn Miller, Tommy Dorsey, Duke Ellington, and in fact, in their music stands in the big band era, they put in streamlined motifs just like the cars. This is a really beautiful car, and you can see that the designers, the way that they blended the headlights into the fenders, the way that the spare tire is set into the fenders. It's beautiful work and a great craftsmanship. And really, that's about all I can say. The car really speaks for itself.
Okay, sir. What is the mechanical description for this car? What is the transmission? What is the engine power? Would you mind talk about that too?
Yes. This was a really quite a powerful car, the V8. And although I don't know so much about the handling of the cars at that time, they were probably pretty clumsy, but they were really quite fast. And another thing that's important is this car was one of the last production models. This was built in 1940, and it was American to enter the war in 1941. So after that, a lot of these factories changed over to war production, and so there was a car shortage after the war, and it started up again in 1946.
All right, interesting. It's a beautiful car.
Yeah.
Would you mind to show the another one, sir?
Sure.
Wait.
Contains all kinds of things, including models of chassis, and I mean, this collection is incredible.
The little toys are here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't mind to get them if they sell it to my son, you know? Very beautiful. Where's our next baby?
Down here. By the way, it's turned off right. This Bentley here, I believe it is 1928 Bentley. To buy a collectible Bentley now would cost you, $1 million. This is a
It costs $1 million? The
Yes,
price?
this is a beautifully built replica.
This is a replica.
This is a modern built, but it is exquisitely done. So, and it fooled me. I thought it was a real Bentley from the period.
Oh, okay.
And when I lived in London, and this was the late 50s, early 60s, the collection thing was not a big thing then. And I actually saw real Bentleys just parked on the street and used for regular transportation.
Like a taxi?
I saw a car like this parked near my flat.
Uh-huh.
And people go out and just use it to drive to work.
Oh, okay. Okay,
And
interesting.
of course nowadays, I don't think it would survive the night. I'm sure it would be stolen.
True.
1950s were a lot safer.
Yeah, 1950s was safer then?
People were,
Oh.
yeah. Nowadays, in London, they break in to steal your change from the console.
Would you like to talk about this guy or no?
A little bit. This is a fantastic car, which of course is a show car, and it's really for as a custom car to go on the show market. It's interesting because the designers incorporated pieces from all different brands of American cars. I believe there's Cadillac, Lincoln, Chrysler, and I can't remember some of the other parts, but this is like Lincoln headlights from the early 60s, and I believe the twin headlights like this, I believe that was Cadillac. But then there's Cadillac influences in the grille too. And the incredible detail, you have these little shiny chrome nuts at each cross piece. And when I did a painting of this, it was
Tough?
it was difficult. It was
Oh,
difficult.
okay.
It took me a long time.
Yeah, it's hard to draw on it, right?
And there again, I believe that this one has air conditioning. Any of the cars that are bubble tops, of course, you know, you roast alive outside in the sun of this.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can get a shot of the inside, but I think that's
Yeah, we can do, yeah, of course.
it's like a turbine-like dash.
Whoa. It's really interesting.
Now, in the late 50s and early 60s, there were a lot of turbine-like features in cars because the manufacturers thought that the gas turbine was going to be the engine of the future. And let's see. And then there was a huge influence from space, space travel.
Yeah.
Rockets, and also jet aircraft. So a lot of the themes you'll see are aeronautical.
Could you move up a little bit, sir?
Just try it. I believe these are Chrysler fins. So I don't know whether they went around junkyards collecting these pieces, but
Uh-huh. They kind of restore it, right?
yeah,
But it's awesome. It
they-
looks beautiful.
yeah. But I cannot imagine how many hours went into building.
Yeah, a lot of work, right? A lot of
And this
work, a lot
also
of
has,
dedication.
This also has a TV screen in the back seat for the passengers.
Oh, TV screens.
There's a screen for watching TV in the back seat.
Orqasida TV'si bo'lgan ekan, do'stlar. 1950-yildagi gap mana. Even air conditioning for the back rooms, right? For
Yes,
the
there
back
would be air
salon.
conditioning. This car would have to have air conditioning because you
Wow.
couldn't survive in this. I've talked to other collectors that have plexiglass covered cars, and if you don't have air conditioning, you can't stand there for more than 5 minutes because the heat is tremendous in the sun.
Yeah, yeah, it's unbelievable. For that period back in years, the production was that like advanced. Even they have a TVs inside the. This is kind of classic, fascinating, beautiful cars. I love this car. If I become a rich, definitely I will buy it.
Now it has hydraulics,
Uh-huh.
so even though it's sitting like a lowrider,
Yeah.
it can be hydraulically lifted up.
Oh.
And also the plug for the power, I noticed this when they were helping me. They put the top down. Here, I believe, is the gas cap, but also there's an electrical plug in there where you can charge the system.
Even electrical plug.
Yes, but I don't know if it originally had an electrical
There's a
plug
gas
there.
cap right there.
Yeah,
We can feel it
this
through
lifts
there.
up, yeah.
Oh.
And the whole top lifts up hydraulically, electrically.
Okay. Mana shu mashinani top ustidagi mana bu avvalgi holatdagi oynachasi ham ko'tarilar ekan, avtomatik ravishda yopilar ekan, ochilar ekan. Mana bu turgan tumaloq sharikcha benzinda, ya'ni benzin qo'yadigan joy ekan. Ana shu yerda qopqoq ekan. Mana shunday turgan chiroyli qilib qo'ygan. It's awesome. I'm talking in my,
No, I understand. I get it.
So
yeah.
whatever you're saying, I'm kind of
I understand
translating
that.
to our,
We're just-
the
we're
fans.
We'll just cover one
Yeah.
more fantasy car here. I don't know a whole lot about it. I think it's interesting because the sun is shining on the inside. God, do they have a sign? I think it's built by Chrysler.
Qaysi modelligini hozir ko'rmoqchi bo'lyapmiz. Qaysi model ekan? Maybe it's Pontiac. Look like a Pontiac.
Here we go. Here we go.
What would you like to talk about this one?
This car, it is purely a fantasy car designed by a man called Richard Fletcher.
Richard Fletcher degan odam tomonidan ixtiro qilingan ekan. What is the model, sir?
And it is based on a Studebaker.
Studebaker?
Studebaker parts, but right now I have to check the information.
Okay, hozir qaysi modelligini aytadi. Samolyoti do'stlar, karablyo shu paytda shunaqani minib yursiz ko'chalarda 50-60-yillarda. Bu sig'maydi biz hozirgi yo'llarga.
It is strictly a show car. It was originally called the Vampire Mobile.
Vampire? Vampire. It's so weird.
And then,
It's a beast.
yes, and then later his name was changed to the Ice Princess. The front end.
Keyin muz qor malikasi deb nomlashdi. Birinchi vampir deb nomlab turib, mana shu mashinaga keyinchalik qor malikasi deb berildi. Haqiqatda vampirga ham o'xshaydi bir qarashda qor malikasiga ham o'xshaydi. Davom etamiz do'stlar. Yes sir, go ahead, continue. You can continue sir, please.
The front end is, I believe, a 1950 Studebaker rocket nose, and And so it does incorporate a lot of Studebaker parts in it.
What is the reason put it there? The rocket.
It
What
was
is
a
it? It's
st-
just a design.
It
or
was a styling
just a
feature
symbol?
from the actual 1950s Studebaker. They were famous. for that rocket
Studebaker,
lamp.
they have a like a kind of symbol logo.
Well, it was part of their regular passenger car design from that time.
Oh.
Studebaker did a lot of design innovation stuff.
Studebaker is the engineers, right? Or the
Studebaker
owner
was
or
a
the
car
creator?
company.
Car company.
Used to be in South Bend, Indiana,
Uh-huh.
and there's a wonderful museum down there if you want to visit.
Yeah,
where you
definitely.
can visit the Studebaker, and I believe they have an old Studebaker showroom still there that
Uh-huh.
they display,
Okay.
and that's well worth a trip. Watch yourself.
Aha. Studebaker degan kompaniya bo'lgan ekan, ya'ni
Studebaker was a
ya'ni o'sha avtomobil kompaniyasi bo'lgan ekan, ya'ni
major company.
Janubiy Indianada joylashgan ekan. What was the period that time? What was the year we're talking about? Qaysi yillar?
Well, Studebaker went all the way back to the 20s and 30s, but I think they made their last cars probably in the 1960s. They were famous for the Studebaker Avanti, which a lot of collectors
Good
buy. It was a sports car that was way ahead of its time.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Studebaker kompaniyasi oxirgi mashinalari, ya'ni 1960-yillarda, ya'ni o'sha paytlarda 1960-yillarda oxirgi o'sha modellarini ishlab chiqarishgan ekan. Mana shu, ya'ni oxirgi modelni, ya'ni vampirdan qor malikasiga almashtirishgan mana shu oxirgi modellari bo'lgan ekan. What was the reason they produced this kind of amazing cars and they stopped it? What do you think is a competition or any kind of reason?
The reason of what?
Why did they stop the manufacturing
they
or
were just
producing
they
this
were,
kind of beautiful
because
cars?
they were an independent company and they just could not compete with General Motors.
General Motors.
There were a couple of companies in the U.S. back through the 60s that made very innovative vehicles. Studebaker and American Motors in Kenosha. And they had a huge production center in Kenosha for American Motors. But there again, American Motors and Studebaker just could not compete with the giants of General Motors and Ford at the time.
Big monster that time,
They
right?
were monsters.
General Motors.
And of course, they did what they could to kill the smaller companies.
Oh, okay.
So,
Demak, o'sha paytda hozir so'radim, 1960-yillarda o'sha nimaga bu Studebaker va American Motors kompaniyalari, ya'ni raqobatga bardosh bera olmagan deyapti, chunki General Motors hozirgi kundagi, ya'ni destuvchi kompaniya, katta kompaniyalardan biri, ya'ni avtomobil sanoatidagi, ya'ni avtomobil ishlab chiqaruvchilarining katta brendlaridan biri bo'lgan General Motorsning raqobatiga dosh bera olmagan deyapti. Okay, sir, continue. Let's go.
okay, that's it.
That's it. Thank you, sir. Thank you for dedicating time. Have a good day.
I hold on to this storm cause I need to be swept away, swept away. I'm cornered in the cold where you left me. Left again, left again. Oh, there's a jungle in my head growing wilder, and it's killing me, killing me. I cannot let you go, I cannot let you go, I cannot let you go, I cannot let you go. Oh, you what love is and why it's beautiful. Just put your body on top of